Silent watchers. Commander Sarah Chen stood motionless in the observation deck of the ISV Sentinel, her dark eyes fixed on the quantum anomaly that shimmered like a tear in the fabric of space-time. Saturn's rings provided a majestic backdrop to the phenomenon that had appeared 3 months ago, defying all known laws of physics. The interstellar surveillance vessel and its sister ships, the ISV Wraith and ISV Phantom, maintained their vigil in perfect stealth, hidden by cutting-edge quantum camouflage technology. Commander, Lieutenant Maya Patel's voice came through the neural link, carrying an unusual edge of excitement. We're detecting new patterns in the quantum fluctuations, nothing like the previous readings. Sarah closed her eyes, letting her neural implant connect directly to the ship's sensor arrays. The data flooded her consciousness, a symphony of quantum signatures that made her breath catch. After 3 months of observing what they thought might be natural space-time distortions, they were finally seeing something different, something artificial. Full analysis, she subvocalized, her thoughts traveling through the neural network to her crew. All stations maintain stealth protocols that divert additional power to passive sensors. The Sentinel's quantum core hummed almost imperceptibly as it redirected energy. Their stealth technology was humanity's greatest achievement, a combination of gravitational lensing and quantum field manipulation that rendered them virtually undetectable. But it came at a cost. They couldn't use active sensors without risking detection, forcing them to rely on passive observation. Dr. Marcus Wong, their quantum physicist, joined her on the observation deck. His holographic display projected a complex matrix of calculations into the air between them. These patterns, he said, pointing to a particularly intricate sequence, they're not random. There's a clear mathematical progression here that suggests conscious manipulation of quantum states. Sarah studied the equations, her neural implant helping her process the complex mathematics. Someone's trying to punch through from another dimension. More like another universe entirely, Marcus corrected, his eyes bright with scientific enthusiasm. These signatures suggest they're operating on at least 11 dimensions. Whoever they are, their understanding of quantum mechanics makes ours look primitive. The implication sent a chill down Sarah's spine. Humanity had just begun to grasp the basics of quantum technology, and here was evidence of beings who could manipulate the very fabric of reality. Recommendations. We maintain observation, Marcus said firmly. This could be the greatest scientific discovery in human history, or the greatest threat we've ever faced. Sarah nodded, turning to face the anomaly again. The quantum tear had grown slightly, its edges now showing traces of colors that shouldn't exist in normal space. Alert the Wraith and Phantom. Transmission through quantum entanglement only, no conventional signals. The 3 ships had been positioned in a triangular formation around the anomaly, allowing them to observe it from multiple angles while maintaining backup positions in case of emergency. Each carried a quantum core containing entangled particles linked to the others, allowing instantaneous communication that was theoretically impossible to detect or intercept. Hours passed as they watched the anomaly evolve. The mathematical patterns grew more complex, more purposeful. Sarah's crew worked in focused silence, recording every measurement, every fluctuation. They were making history, but the weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders. If this truly was first contact, humanity's survival might depend on the information they gathered. Lieutenant Patel's voice broke through her thoughts again. Commander, the quantum signatures are intensifying. Something's happening. Sarah watched as the tear in space-time began to pulse with impossible energies. The colors shifted and swirled, forming patterns that hurt her eyes to look at directly. Her neural implant automatically adjusted her visual input to compensate. Multiple quantum breaches forming, Marcus reported, his fingers dancing through holographic displays. They're creating stable passages through the dimensional barrier. The first object emerged from the anomaly, and Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. It was unmistakably a vessel, but unlike anything human minds could have conceived. Its surface seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, shifting and flowing like liquid metal, while maintaining perfect geometric patterns that extended into dimensions they couldn't perceive. Size estimate, she subvocalized. Difficult to be certain, Marcus replied. It appears to be roughly 2 kilometers in length, but parts of it extend into other dimensions we can't properly measure. More vessels began to emerge, each one a masterpiece of impossible engineering. They moved with perfect precision, arranging themselves in formations that seemed random at first glance, but revealed complex mathematical relationships when analyzed. They're scanning, Lieutenant Puddle reported, detecting quantum probe emissions across multiple dimensional planes. Sarah's mind raced through the implications. These beings weren't just advanced. They were operating on a level that made humanity's greatest achievements look like stone tools in comparison. The question wasn't whether they could detect Earth's observation fleet, but when. Begin contingency procedures, she ordered. Prepare quantum data packets for emergency transmission to Earth Command. If we're discovered, they need to know what they're dealing with. As her crew worked, Sarah continued to watch the alien vessels through the observation deck. They moved like dancers performing a cosmic ballet, their multi-dimensional forms defying conventional physics. Beautiful, but terrifying in their implications. A soft alert chimed in her neural link. One of the alien vessels had changed course, moving closer to Saturn. Their quantum scanners were probing the ring system, likely detecting the subtle gravitational anomalies caused by human mining operations. They're searching methodically, Marcus observed. These aren't explorers stumbling through a dimensional portal. This is a coordinated operation with clear objectives. Sarah agreed. The precision of their movements, the systematic nature of their scans, these beings hadn't arrived here by accident. They were looking for something specific, and humanity needed to know what before it was too late. Update from the Wraith, Lieutenant Puddle reported. They've detected quantum tunneling attempts near Titan. The aliens appear to be creating micro-wormholes to survey the moon's interior. Titan, Sarah muttered. Our largest fuel processing facility is hidden there. She made a quick decision. Signal the Phantom. Have them adjust position to maintain better coverage of Titan. We need to know the moment those beings get close to discovering our presence. As she issued the orders, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were watching the prelude to something momentous. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, but not like this. Not with beings so advanced that their technology bordered on magic, not while hiding in the shadows of their own solar system. The alien vessels continued their precise dance through space, their quantum probes reaching out to touch the fabric of reality itself. And in 3 perfectly camouflaged ships, human observers watched and waited, knowing that their next decisions could determine the fate of their entire species. The first part of humanity's greatest challenge had begun, and Commander Sarah Chen intended to ensure that Earth would be ready for whatever came next. Quantum breach. The holographic display in the ISV Sentinel's tactical room showed 47 interdimensional vessels now, their impossible geometries casting shadows that shouldn't exist. Commander Sarah Chen studied the 3-dimensional projection, her neural implant struggling to process the way the alien ships seemed to fold through space itself. They're building something, Dr. Marcus Wong said, manipulating the hologram to focus on a cluster of smaller vessels near Titan. These construction patterns match nothing in our database, but the mathematical precision is undeniable. Lieutenant Maya Patel worked her station nearby, her fingers dancing through streams of quantum data. The energy signatures are unlike anything we've recorded. It's as if they're harvesting something from the space between dimensions. Sarah watched as the alien vessels arranged themselves in a complex geometric pattern around Titan. Their surfaces rippled with colors that existed beyond normal spacetime, creating interference patterns in the Sentinel's quantum sensors. After a week of observation, they were no closer to understanding the visitors' true intentions. Update from the Wraith, Maya reported, her voice tense. They detected new quantum signatures near the construction site. The aliens appear to be creating stable micro-singularities. Marcus's eyes widened. They're not just harvesting dark matter, they're farming it, creating artificial conditions to generate more. He pulled up a series of complex equations. The implications are staggering. With this technology, they could potentially alter the fundamental structure of space-time itself. A soft alert chimed through the neural network. One of the larger alien vessels had broken formation, its multidimensional form distorting as it moved closer to Saturn's rings. Sarah felt her heart rate increase as she watched its approach. They're scanning the rings more thoroughly now, Maya observed. Their quantum probes are becoming more focused, more precise. They know something's here, Sarah said quietly. They might not have detected us yet, but they sense the gravitational anomalies from our mining operations. She turned to Marcus. How close can they get before our stealth systems fail? The quantum physicist ran calculations through his neural interface. Hard to say. Their technology operates on principles we barely understand. But if they maintain their current search pattern, he hesitated, they'll find evidence of human activity within the next 48 hours. Sarah absorbed this information, her mind racing through possibilities. The ISV Sentinel and its sister ships carried humanity's most advanced stealth technology, but against beings who could manipulate 11-dimensional space, how long could they really remain hidden? Commander, Maya's voice carried an edge of urgency. The Phantom is reporting unusual activity near their position. The aliens have deployed some kind of quantum mesh around one of our automated mining drones. The holographic display shifted to show the scene. The mining drone, officially marked as decommissioned in Earth's records, had been deliberately left as a decoy. Now it floated in a web of impossible energies as the alien vessels studied it. They're taking it apart, Marcus breathed, fascination warring with concern in his voice. Not physically. They're deconstructing it at the quantum level, analyzing every particle, every atomic bond. Sarah watched the process with growing unease. The aliens' methodical examination of human technology reminded her of scientists studying primitive tools. Their casual display of power was both fascinating and terrifying. New quantum signatures detected, Maya reported. They're replicating it, creating perfect quantum-level copies of our technology. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. These beings weren't just studying human technology. They were learning to reproduce it, understand it, and likely improve upon it. The technological gap between their civilizations suddenly felt like an unbridgeable chasm. Hours passed as they watched the aliens continue their work. The construction near Titan grew more complex, their dark matter harvesting operation expanding with mathematical precision. Each new structure they created seemed to bend reality itself, creating distortions in space-time that their sensors struggled to measure. Commander, Maya's voice cut through Sarah's thoughts. The Wraith is reporting a problem. The aliens' dark matter extraction is creating gravitational distortions. If they continue at this rate, she paused, double-checking her calculations. They could destabilize Titan's orbit within months. Sarah felt the weight of command pressing down on her shoulders. They had been tasked with observing and reporting, maintaining absolute stealth to gather intelligence on humanity's first contact with an advanced civilization. But if these beings' activities threaten the stability of Saturn's largest moon and the secret human colonies hidden beneath its surface, how long could they justify remaining silent? "Show me the projected orbital decay," she ordered. The holographic display updated, showing Titan's trajectory over the next 6 months. The moon's orbit would begin to deteriorate slowly at first, then with increasing speed as the aliens' dark matter harvesting intensified. The consequences would be catastrophic, not just for the hidden human presence, but for the entire Saturnian system. "There's something else," Marcus added, his face grim. "These quantum signatures. I don't think dark matter is their only target. The way they're manipulating space-time, it's as if they're trying to create something big." Before Sarah could respond, a new alert pulsed through the neural network. One of the alien vessels had changed course suddenly, its impossible geometry twisting as it moved with purpose toward a specific point in space. "They found something," Maya reported, her fingers flying over her console. "Another mining drone. This one active. It's deeper in the rings, closer to our position." Sarah watched as the alien ship approached the drone, its quantum probes reaching out to envelop the human device. They had deliberately placed these drones as decoys, spread throughout Saturn's rings to provide plausible explanations for any gravitational anomalies the aliens might detect. But now that strategy might lead them straight to the observation fleet. "Prepare for emergency maneuvers," she ordered. "If they follow the drone's quantum signature back to its source." She left the sentence unfinished. Everyone on the bridge knew what was at stake. The ISV Sentinel and its sister ships were humanity's only eyes on these visitors from another universe. If they were discovered, Earth would lose its only advantage, the element of surprise. The alien vessel's quantum probes expanded, creating a complex web of energy that began to map the space around the mining drone. Sarah felt her pulse quicken as she watched the scan pattern expand outward, moving inexorably closer to their position. "The Phantom is requesting permission to relocate," Maya reported. "Their position will be compromised within minutes if the scan continues." Sarah made a quick decision. "Tell them to hold position." Any sudden movement now would create gravitational waves they could detect. She turned to Marcus. "How much longer can our stealth systems compensate?" The quantum physicist's hands moved through the holographic displays, making rapid adjustments. "I'm redirecting power to strengthen our quantum field, but," he shook his head, "we're dealing with beings who can manipulate the fabric of reality itself. We can't hide forever." As if to emphasize his point, another alien vessel joined the first, their combined quantum probes creating interference patterns that made the Sentinel's sensors fluctuate wildly. The hunt was intensifying, and humanity's hidden watchers were running out of places to hide. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display, watching as the interdimensional beings methodically stripped away their carefully constructed deceptions. Soon, they would have to make a choice: maintain their silent vigil and risk discovery, or break their stealth protocols to warn Earth about what was coming. The quantum breach was widening, and time was running out. Dark harvest. Multiple breaches detected. Lieutenant Maya Patel's voice cut through the tense silence on the ISV Sentinel's bridge. "They're opening quantum corridors throughout the ring system." Commander Sarah Chen watched as the holographic display filled with new signatures. The interdimensional beings had accelerated their operation dramatically in the past 12 hours, their massive vessels moving with impossible precision through Saturn's rings. The dark matter harvesting arrays near Titan had grown to staggering proportions, their geometric patterns extending into dimensions human sensors could barely detect. Energy output has increased by 800% since they began the new construction phase, Dr. Marcus Wong reported, his neural interface struggling to process the flood of data. "The quantum fluctuations are becoming unstable. They're pulling so much dark matter from our universe that it's creating micro-tears in spacetime." Sarah studied the tactical display, watching as the aliens deployed what appeared to be stabilization nodes around their harvest sites. The structures pulsed with exotic energies, their surfaces rippling with mathematical patterns that seemed to hold reality itself together. "Wraith is reporting gravitational distortions near their position," Maya announced. "The dark matter extraction is affecting local spacetime more than we predicted. They're requesting permission to adjust their orbit." Before Sarah could respond, new alerts flashed across the holographic interface. A group of smaller alien vessels had broken away from the main fleet, their quantum signatures different from anything they'd observed before. "Scout ships," Marcus said, pointing to their unusual energy patterns. "They're using some kind of quantum entanglement drive. Conventional physics doesn't apply to their movement." Sarah watched as the alien scouts began a systematic sweep of the ring system, their sensors probing deeper into the space around them. "They're not just looking for more resources," she realized. "They're searching for threats. The observation fleet's stealth systems had held so far, their quantum camouflage bending light and gravity around them. But against beings who could manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe, how long could they remain hidden? "Commander," Maya's voice carried an edge of alarm. "One of the scout ships is on an intercept course with the Phantom's position. Their quantum probes will detect the gravitational lensing effect within minutes." Sarah's mind raced through options. The Phantom couldn't move without creating detectable distortions, but staying in place meant certain discovery. Either way, they were about to face their first direct encounter with the interdimensional beings. "Signal the Phantom," she ordered. "Tell them to maintain position but power up their quantum core. If they're discovered, they'll need every ounce of energy for what comes next." Through the neural network, Sarah felt the crew's tension rise. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but nothing could have prepared them for beings who treated the laws of physics as mere suggestions. The alien scout ship moved closer to the Phantom's position, its impossible geometry shifting as it deployed more sophisticated scanning arrays. On the tactical display, Sarah could see the web of quantum energy expanding, probing the space around the hidden human vessel. "They found something," Marcus reported, his fingers dancing through holographic data streams. "The scout's energy signature just changed. There." A burst of quantum energy erupted from the alien vessel, enveloping the space where the Phantom lay hidden. For a moment, reality itself seemed to bend as the interdimensional being's technology interacted with the human stealth system. "Phantom's quantum camouflage is failing," Maya announced, her voice tight with concern. "Their field can't compensate for the direct probe." Sarah watched as the Phantom's stealth field fluctuated, its carefully maintained invisibility beginning to break down. The alien scout ship's response was immediate. It fired another pulse of quantum energy, this one more focused, more precise. "Multiple scouts converging on the position," Marcus reported. "They're coordinating their quantum probes. The Phantom can't." The rest of his sentence was cut off as a brilliant flash of energy lit up the ring system. The Phantom's quantum core had overloaded, releasing a massive burst of power that momentarily disrupted the alien sensors. "Phantom is going dark," Maya reported. "They're initiating emergency protocols. Full power to engines." Sarah watched as the human vessel broke cover, its stealth compromised but its speed unmatched. The Phantom accelerated through the rings, using the chunks of ice and rock as cover, while the alien scouts gave chase. "Their weapons," Marcus said, studying the energy signatures of the pursuing vessels. "They're not trying to destroy the Phantom. These are containment beams, designed to capture rather than kill." The implication sent a chill down Sarah's spine. These beings wanted to study them, to understand the civilization that had managed to hide in their midst. The Phantom's crew knew what that meant. Capture was not an option. "New quantum signatures detected." Maya's voice carried a note of awe. "The main fleet, they're reconfiguring." The holographic display showed the larger alien vessel's shifting position, their impossible geometries flowing like liquid as they formed new patterns. The dark matter harvesting arrays pulsed with increased energy, creating distortions in space-time that made the Sentinel sensors fluctuate wildly. "It's not just a harvesting operation," Marcus breathed, his eyes wide as he processed the new data. "They're building something massive. These arrays, the quantum corridors, the dark matter extraction. It's all part of a larger construct." Sarah studied the patterns emerging from the aliens' work, the mathematical precision, the scale of their operation, the systematic way they had mapped Saturn's ring system. "They're not just visiting our universe," she realized. "They're trying to change it." A sudden burst of quantum energy drew their attention back to the Phantom's pursuit. The human vessel had managed to evade the first wave of containment beams, but more alien scouts were joining the chase. "Phantom's captain on quantum comm," Maya reported. "Emergency transmission." Sarah opened the secure channel, knowing the risk of detection was now secondary to the information they needed to share. Captain Elena Rodriguez's voice came through, distorted by quantum interference, but clear enough to understand. Commander, we've analyzed their containment fields. The technology, it's not just advanced, it's revolutionary. They're creating stable patches of altered spacetime, changing the fundamental constants of our universe within those zones. Sarah processed this information as she watched the Phantom weave through another barrage of containment beams. Can we counter it? Negative, Elena replied, her voice steady despite the chaos around her ship. But we've discovered something else. Their quantum signatures, the way they manipulate spacetime, it's causing cascade reactions in the dark matter field. If they continue this operation at its current scale, the transmission cut off as another containment beam narrowly missed the Phantom. Sarah turned to Marcus. Analysis. The quantum physicist's hands flew over his holographic controls. The dark matter harvesting is more dangerous than we thought. They're not just extracting it. They're converting it, changing its fundamental properties. The effect on our universe's structure. He looked up, his face pale. It could tear apart the fabric of spacetime itself. Sarah watched as the Phantom executed another desperate evasive maneuver, buying time for its sister ships to gather crucial data about their adversaries. The fate of their mission, and possibly their entire universe, now hung in the balance. The dark harvest was accelerating, and the time for silent observation was coming to an end. Soon, they would have to make a choice that would affect not just humanity, but the very structure of reality itself. As if sensing her thoughts, the alien fleet's quantum signatures surged again, their dark matter arrays growing brighter with impossible energies. The next phase of their operation was beginning, and the human observers were running out of time to stop it. Breaking silence. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the ISV Sentinel's quantum core chamber, surrounded by swirling holographic displays showing the deteriorating situation around Saturn. The Phantom was still evading capture, but its tactics had drawn more alien scouts away from the dark matter harvesting arrays. Through their quantum entanglement link, she could feel Captain Rodriguez's determination as her ship danced through the rings, drawing attention away from her sister ships. The arrays are reaching critical mass, Dr. Marcus Wong reported, his neural interface processing streams of data from their sensors. The dark matter conversion is creating cascading quantum fluctuations throughout the system. We're detecting micro-fissures in spacetime, as far out as Titan's orbit. Lieutenant Maya Patel worked frantically at her station, coordinating with the Wraith through their secure quantum channel. Wraith reports their stealth systems are barely holding. The aliens' quantum probes are becoming more sophisticated. They're learning to detect our gravitational lensing signatures. Sarah studied the tactical display, watching as the interdimensional being's massive construction project continued to grow. What had started as harvesting arrays had evolved into something far more ominous, a vast machine that seemed to be rewriting the laws of physics within its influence. We need to warn Earth, she decided, her voice firm. But we need to do it in a way that doesn't compromise everything we've learned about their capabilities. Marcus nodded, pulling up new holographic schematics. I've been working on something. The aliens' quantum probes operate on predictable frequencies. They're systematic, methodical. But there are gaps in their scanning patterns, microscans where they shift from one frequency to another. A window for transmission? Sarah asked, hope flickering in her chest. More like a quantum whisper, Marcus explained. If we time it perfectly, we can send compressed data bursts through the gaps in their sensor network. But we'll need a distraction, something to create larger gaps in their coverage. Maya's console lit up with new alerts. Commander, the Phantom's captain is requesting an open channel. Priority 1. Sarah accepted the transmission, and Elena Rodriguez's voice filled the chamber, strained but determined. Commander, we've analyzed their pursuit patterns. These beings, they think in quantum algorithms, perfect mathematical sequences, makes them predictable if you know what to look for. You have a plan? Sarah asked, already suspecting the answer. We do, Elena confirmed. The Phantom's quantum core is damaged from our last evasion. We can't maintain stealth anymore. But we can still create one hell of a light show. If we detonate our core in a controlled cascade, the quantum interference would disrupt their sensor network for several minutes. The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. That's a one-way mission, Captain. The Phantom was compromised the moment they detected us, Alina replied calmly. This way, we make it count. We can create your window, Commander. Make sure Earth gets the warning it needs. Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the weight of command press down on her shoulders. They had trained together, served together, knowing that someday they might face decisions like this. How long can you give us? 3 minutes, maybe 4 if we time the cascade perfectly. Enough time to transmit everything we've learned about their technology, their intentions. Alina's voice carried a hint of grim humor. Besides, they seem very interested in studying our technology. Let's show them what human quantum cores can really do. Sarah opened a secure channel to the Wraith, including them in the planning. Over the next hour, they coordinated their positions carefully, using Saturn's rings for cover as they prepared for their most dangerous maneuver yet. The Phantom will need to draw their main fleet away from the arrays, Sarah explained, highlighting tactical positions in the holographic display. Wraith, you'll be positioned here, ready to relay our transmission through your quantum repeaters if our primary signal is blocked. Commander, Maya interrupted, her voice urgent. New energy signatures from the arrays. They're starting another dark matter conversion cycle. The tactical display showed the massive alien structures pulsing with impossible energies, their quantum signatures distorting space itself. The micro-fissures in spacetime were growing larger, spreading through the Saturnian system like cracks in glass. Time's up, Marcus warned. If we don't act now, there won't be a stable spacetime continuum left to protect. Sarah nodded, sending the final authorization codes through their quantum network. Captain Rodriguez, the Phantom is cleared for Operation Quantum Flash. May the stars guide you home. It's been an honor, Commander, Alina replied. Initiating core cascade in 3, 2, 1. The space around Saturn's rings erupted in quantum fire as the Phantom's core began its controlled detonation. The ship's metamaterial hull channeled the explosion into precise patterns, creating waves of interference that rippled through spacetime itself. The alien fleet's reaction was immediate. Their perfect geometric formations broke apart as quantum sensors were overwhelmed by the cascade of energy. Scout ships converged on the Phantom's position, their containment beams trying to contain the quantum storm. Transmission window opening, Maya reported, her fingers flying over her console. Initiating data burst now. The Sentinel's quantum core hummed to life, channeling their compressed intelligence reports through the gaps in the alien's sensor network. Everything they had learned about the interdimensional being's technology, their dark matter harvesting, their threat to the very fabric of reality, all of it encoded in quantum pulses racing toward Earth. Sarah watched the tactical display as the Phantom's sacrifice created chaos in the alien fleet. The quantum cascade was affecting their harvesting arrays, creating fluctuations in their carefully maintained energy fields. For the first time, the interdimensional being's perfect precision showed signs of faltering. First data packet confirmed received by Earth relay stations, Maya announced. 20% of total transmission complete. 30%. The alien fleet was recovering quickly, their quantum algorithms adapting to the interference. But the Phantom's cascade had done its job, creating just enough disruption for their warning to get through. 50%. 60%. Maya continued her count as the minutes ticked by. On the tactical display, the Phantom's signal was fading, its core explosion reaching its final stages. New quantum signatures detected, Marcus reported suddenly. The aliens are launching some kind of countermeasure. They're trying to stabilize local spacetime, contain the cascade effect. Sarah watched as new patterns emerged in the alien fleet's formation. They were learning, adapting, their impossible technology working to restore order to the chaos the humans had created. Transmission at 85%, Maya reported, her voice tense. The window is closing. The final moments of their transmission raced against the aliens' recovering sensor network. The Phantom's quantum cascade was dissipating, its last gift to humanity fading into the darkness of space. Transmission complete, Maya announced finally. Earth has confirmed receipt of all data packets. They know what's coming. Sarah allowed herself a moment of grief for the Phantom and her crew, their sacrifice written in quantum fire across Saturn's rings. But there was no time for mourning. The aliens would soon trace the transmission to its source, and the ISV Sentinel had one more role to play in humanity's first interstellar war. "Prepare for emergency maneuvers," she ordered. "We're not done yet. Earth has the warning. Now we need to make sure they have time to use it." The quantum core hummed beneath her feet as the Sentinel prepared for its next move. The silence had been broken, but the real battle was just beginning. The quantum fire from the Phantom's sacrifice still burned across Saturn's rings, creating curtains of impossible light that rippled through multiple dimensions. Commander Sarah Chen watched from the ISV Sentinel's bridge as the interdimensional fleet regrouped, their perfect formations taking on new, more aggressive patterns. "They're not just adapting to our technology," Dr. Marcus Wong observed, his neural interface processing streams of sensor data. "They're integrating it, the quantum cascade from the Phantom. They're learning from it, using it to enhance their own capabilities." Lieutenant Maya Patel worked furiously at her station, coordinating with the Wraith through their remaining quantum links. Multiple breach points forming around the dark matter arrays. Their harvest rate is accelerating, and the space-time fissures are growing exponentially. Sarah studied the tactical display, watching as reality itself began to crack around the aliens' massive construction project. The message to Earth had gone through, but it would take hours for reinforcements to arrive, hours they didn't have. "New analysis of their quantum signatures," Marcus reported suddenly, his eyes wide. "Commander, I don't think they chose our solar system at random. These energy patterns, the specific frequency of their dark matter conversion, they're tuned precisely to our local space-time constants." "Meaning?" Sarah asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. "Our universe is particularly rich in dark matter, especially in this region of space. They're not just harvesting it. They're using it to create a permanent bridge between dimensions." Marcus pulled up complex mathematical models in the holographic display. "If they succeed, it won't just be a fleet coming through. They could transport entire worlds." The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. This wasn't just an invasion. It was colonization on a scale beyond human comprehension. How long? At their current rate of harvest, Marcus checked his calculations. The space-time barrier will be permanently weakened in less than 3 hours. After that, there's no going back. The laws of physics themselves will be rewritten in this sector of space. Before Sarah could respond, Maya's console erupted with alerts. "Multiple quantum signatures converging on our position. They've traced the transmission path from Earth. They know where we are." Sarah watched as alien vessels moved to surround them, their impossible geometries shifting into attack formations they'd never seen before. The Sentinel's stealth systems were still functioning, but against beings who could track quantum transmissions through space-time itself, invisibility was no longer enough. "Wraith is reporting similar containment maneuvers around their position," Maya added. "They're boxing us in, using the ring system to limit our escape vectors." Sarah's mind raced through options. They couldn't run. The aliens' quantum drives gave them superiority in normal space. They couldn't hide. Their stealth technology had been compromised. That left only one choice. "Upload all sensor data to the quantum core's isolated memory," she ordered. "Prepare for emergency protocol Omega." Her crew's reaction was immediate. They had drilled for this, though none had ever expected to actually implement it. Protocol Omega was a last resort, designed to turn their most advanced technology against itself. "Commander," Marcus said quietly, "if we initiate Omega, will be destroying decades of scientific advancement. The quantum core's artificial singularity will create a localized space-time disruption that even they can't ignore. Sarah finished. We can't match their technology, but we can show them that humanity won't go quietly. She opened a channel to the Wraith. Captain Hassan, are you receiving? We're here, Commander, the Wraith's captain replied. Already preparing our core for synchronized detonation. These beings want to study our technology. Let's give them something worth studying. The next minutes were a blur of activity as both ships prepared for their final act. The alien fleet drew closer, their quantum containment fields reaching out like tentacles of pure mathematics. They're scanning us, Maya reported. Multiple quantum probes attempting to interface with our systems. They're trying to access our databases remotely. Let them look, Sarah said grimly. They'll learn exactly who they're dealing with. The aliens' first attack came not as energy weapons or physical force, but as waves of quantum manipulation attempting to rewrite the very reality around the human ships. The Sentinel shuddered as its hull experienced multiple conflicting physical constants. Quantum core stability at 60%, Marcus reported. If we're going to do this, it needs to be soon. Sarah watched as the alien fleet's formation shifted again, their massive vessels moving with impossible grace to complete their encirclement. On the tactical display, she could see the dark matter arrays pulsing with increasing power, the space-time fissures spreading like cracks in reality itself. All stations, prepare for Protocol Omega, she ordered. Synchronize quantum cores with the Wraith. We do this together. The alien vessels drew closer, their containment fields tightening around the human ships. Whatever they had learned from studying the Phantom's remains had taught them to be cautious, methodical in their capture attempts. Core synchronization complete, Marcus reported. Artificial singularities are aligned. On your command, Commander. Sarah took a final look at the tactical display, memorizing the pattern of alien ships around them. In the distance, the dark matter arrays continued their ominous harvest, tearing at the fabric of space-time itself. Send our final data burst to Earth, she ordered. Everything we've learned about their tactics, their formation patterns, their quantum technology. Then initiate Protocol Omega on my mark. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, knowing these would be their final actions. The alien fleet's containment field was nearly complete now, their impossible technology preparing to capture the human vessels for study. Data burst away, Maya confirmed. Earth acknowledges receipt. They say reinforcements are coming. The whole fleet is mobilizing. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Too late to save us, but we've given them what they need. Knowledge of the enemy, time to prepare, and proof that humanity can hurt them. The alien vessels began their final approach, their quantum probes becoming more aggressive as they attempted to breach the human ship's defenses. Core stability at 40%, Marcus warned. The window is closing. Sarah opened a channel to all hands on both ships. This is Commander Chen. In a few moments, we will implement Protocol Omega. Our quantum cores will create a rupture in space-time that will disrupt their dark matter harvest and buy Earth precious time to prepare. It has been my highest honor to serve with you all. For Earth. For Earth, the crews replied as one. The alien containment field closed around them like a fist of pure mathematics. Sarah looked at her bridge crew one last time, seeing in their faces the same determination she felt. Protocol Omega, she ordered. Execute. The quantum cores of both human vessels detonated simultaneously, their artificial singularities merging to create a cascade of impossible energies. Space itself seemed to scream as the laws of physics were torn apart, creating a vortex of destruction that engulfed everything within its reach. The alien vessels closest to the human ships were caught in the quantum storm, their perfect geometries distorted and broken by forces they couldn't control. The dark matter arrays flickered and failed as the space-time disruption spread through Saturn's rings. In her final moments, Commander Sarah Chen watched as her crew's sacrifice created chaos in the interdimensional fleet. They had shown these beings that humanity would not submit quietly to their harvest of reality itself. The war for Earth's universe was just beginning, but thanks to the observation fleet's sacrifice, humanity would not fight it blind. The quantum storm consumed the ISV Sentinel and ISV Wraith, their final act writing a message in the fabric of space-time itself. Earth would not fall without a fight. In the darkness of space, Saturn's rings continued their eternal dance, now bearing the scars of humanity's first battle for survival against beings from beyond the quantum veil. The interdimensional invasion had begun, but thanks to the courage of the observation fleet, Earth would face it prepared, warned, and ready to defend its very reality.